That's right. I got all the fireworks, people. I got all the fireworks. So shout out to me and this New York Roadrunners track and field poncho. I got this when I came across the line in the New York City Marathon. New York City Marathon, my first time running. I got it. I just put it back on. I'm going to keep it on all day. I'm going to keep it on all day. So shout out to everybody who's watching. Shout out everybody who decided to show up with me. Because I was thinking about, y'all know, I was thinking about not saying anything. But I just had to say something. There's so much that I want to talk about. And I just felt like I had to say a little bit something about what happened. And so many people are asking me about it. I'll say it once, at least once, so that everybody can hear me. All right, so shout out from Linda, from the Colorado Mountains. Shout out to Ben. I appreciate you. Shout out to me. Shout out to Margaretta saying I look good. Shout out for Rev Melissa. Hey, Rev Melissa. Marathon man. Ooh, let me. Yeah, I got it right here. All right, down here. Marathon. Okay, so I don't even know what to say. I don't even know where to start. But, oh, you know what? Thank you, Margaretta. You want to know how it was. Okay, there we go. That's how I'm going to start. So I will do the dice and everything soon, but I just got to talk about how it went. So first of all, we got to show the next thing in my journey. Ta-da! The medal. Took me a lot of time and effort to get this medal. So it was great. All right, so here we go. What was it like? There's so much to talk about, but the first thing is the work day starts really early. We had to be there at 5:30 a.m. Dark outside. So the idea was to go down to the Times Square, hop in a bus that was slated for 5:30. But there was some confusion with the police officers there. And so anyway, long story short, I got sent to the wrong place. And I got sent to the right place at the same time. So I ended up getting Fee King to come with me to be part of my efforts to work this day in some kind of manner that was working for me. Because after that first bit about not being able to go the right way, I was like, all right, I need somebody here who's gonna be here. So Fee King had no plans to come. She was planning to walk me to the morning shuttle, and then say deuces and come back home and work on her stuff. But no, I got her to come with me. All the way to Staten Island. For those of you who don't know, Staten Island is a very far away. So anyway, we got to Staten Island, and just to move it along a little bit faster, once we started, I found out that I was in the early ramp to start. So 9:10 was a very early start. That was a very first start beyond the super athletes, like the super fast people that were going fast. Those are people that started 9:10. And so we started, and it was empty out there. It was empty. But then I started hearing cannon fire from a distance. And I was like, what is that? So I asked one of the other runners. He says, that means that they released the people who are running fast behind us, because we were moving at a kind of, a slow start. Well, they entered this information about these runners who were running fast. And those runners caught up with us, and zoom, they were going by. Zoom. And I was started getting freaked out. And anyway, I told you I was mainly walking. I met up with a guy who, oh no, let me get the name right. Gone with the Wind. I think that's the name of a nonprofit. I was working with him, and at the breakfast before him. Well, let me say it this way: we got connected by him, and then we started working out together. Now I ran into him at the thing, the thing. Back on my feet. Thank you. Back on my feet. And so we met him, and we ran into him the same day where B. King was being my person to kind of talk me through, right? And so anyway, I was working with him in the beginning, and he was my guide, right? And so my guide was supposed to be moving slow, and he was moving slow, right? And I was like, yeah, this is great. But then people started moving fast. And I was like, what is happening? And so one time he would start running a little bit, and he would stop, and he would start playing with everybody. I mean, everybody. He would start to play with everybody. So one of those times I was running when he started running, and all these people came by, and I turned around, and he was gone. He was just gone, like just vanished. And I was like, oh, well, we're just going to go for it. We're just going to go for it and let my protection be all these people around me. I felt secure in that all these people around me felt powerful enough to help me, you know. And I made sure that I asked them for help. I tend to, let me rephrase that. I asked people if they needed help. If I saw somebody was down and out, I made sure I asked them if they were okay. And because my thought was I wanted to make sure that someone would ask me if I was okay if the same thing happened to me. All right. So that said, and a couple amazing things happened. A couple amazing things. So now you know I ran for Black Men Run, right? And I had on a t-shirt, Black Men Run. And I saw this whole group of brothers, like line like this, massive line of brothers who had on Black Men Run shirts. And they were spectators. They were spectating, they were watching. And I was like, oh man. And so I came running over them. I gave them high fives all the way down. And that just filled my heart so much. I don't know any of them. Maybe they know of me, maybe not. But yeah, I was just so happy to see that. And that happened actually several times in Brooklyn, where there were these people just lined up, Black Men Run. And they were like, yes, brother, I see you, brother. And that felt so good. And let's see. I'm going to try to give you some of the highlights because there's so much to talk about. Like really talking about the God at the beginning of the day that I just talked about felt like talking about a different day later in the race, right? A different day because so many things happened. But so I shouted them out. That was a high profile, and I shouted them out several times as they appeared. And then I ran past a church, and I was like, this church looks familiar. Like this guy looks familiar. The pastor looks familiar, and I think I knew the pastor. And then I looked and I saw people I knew at the church. And one of them came out and ran with me. I was like, oh, snap. And I gave her a hug, and she started running with me to keep my pace. And so that was cool. So that kept me on track for another couple yards or whatever, a couple blocks. So cool. I didn't even know that they could do that. I didn't even know that people could just jump in and run with people. And I kept being scared that she was going to get caught or something, but she didn't get caught. She was fine. So that was great. So shout out to Pindana. Shout out to Pindana for getting in and running a couple blocks with me. So shout out to you. And let's see, what else? There was one time I was walking. I was taking a walk break. Oh, wait! I forgot to tell y'all. I ran it. Y'all. I ran it. For those of you who are paying attention to the memo, Sekou's about to walk this thing. It started off as a walk. It started off as a walk. But when those fast people started passing me, I was like, nah, I gotta go. And so when I started moving to kind of get out of their way, I was like, hey, this isn't bad. And I ran. I ran most of the run. Which is how I was able to make it in 6 hours and 54 seconds total. Because I ran it. But I took many walk breaks. So I was taking a walk break, and this woman came up to me. Oh, that reminds me. So on the back of this shirt, it said that I'm competing for a Guinness World Records on the back of the Black Men Run shirt in cardboard that he had cut out, right? And so it pasted there, just nailed there. It said, Sekou is competing for the Guinness World Record, and in order to donate, you have to come down and give your money to give me the gift. Give me the gift. Give me the rent. The win. Give me the win. I don't know why I can't remember that. I came up with it. Y'all, I came up with it. I can't remember it. So sometimes my brain, as you know, if you've been watching, sometimes you can see the evidence of the stroke more than other times. That's one of them. So I came up with that brilliant website, and it was great because it's memorable. It's easy for everyone else to remember. Everyone else I tell it one time, they got it. But me, I can't remember it. So I just got to tell people what it is on the back. So anyway, during this walk break, this woman came up. She's like, hey. I was like, hey. She's like, so what's that on your back? Who's the Guinness World Records for? I was like, oh, my back. And I told her about it. And anyway, then we talked about it, giving the money to Transformational Life Center. Shout out to Demetri Short for holding it down. Shout out to Demetri Short for coming to New York from Nashville to hold it down in person. But let me not get sidebarred. So I told her all that. And she was like, oh, okay. And she got in her purse. She was digging in her purse. And we were talking about, the sun, because the weather had shockingly gone from very hot to very cool because it rained during the marathon. And so we're counting, and she opens her little bag, and then she hands me money. She hands me money. And she said, these are for the people who are affected by the nonprofit you're working for. Come on. I mean, it just touched my soul, right? It's the only time that happened. Only time someone gave me cash to fulfill this desire that I had to reenact some of these things. And what? Okay, I don't know what's happening. So anyway, shoot, now I forgot my train of thought. So the woman, she raised the money, and she raised the money, and she gave me money right out of her purse. That really just shocked me. It really shocked me. And that was a really truly a moment. And so that happened. And the bridges are the quiet parts, by the way. New York City Marathon. Like, I don't know what other marathons people have run. I've only run this one, right? This is the only marathon I've run. This one is loud. It is loud. Everywhere you meet, everywhere you look around, everywhere, people are yelling. People are yelling at you to go forward, do your best, you can do it, all kinds of encouraging things. And the only place that does not happen is on bridges. Now, there are several bridges scheduled throughout the route. And so there are quiet times on bridges. And sometimes, I need that little quiet time, like just let me get it together. Just let me get it back together before I pressed on to hear the loud, cacophonous, booming voices again. But they helped. And also, let's see. other memorable moments. There were people that knew me during the marathon, and they'll be like, "Hey, Sekou." I was like, "What? Hey, hey." And so that happened a couple of times. There was someone who I didn't know who was filming me, and she was like, "Hey, Sekou." I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And she was taking pictures of me, and then she was taking pictures of me, and then she came over somewhere else to take a better picture of me. Like she was shocked by me the first time, like, "Oh, Sekou," and she came around a different way to take pictures of me. I was like, "Oh wow, this is great." So I'm going to post her picture of me because I'm about tired. I'm about tired when she took the picture of me. She took the picture at 99th and First Avenue, 99th and First Avenue. That means we had to come up into Harlem, stop by the Harlem Trail Mix, the Harlem. I'm sorry, I can't graph everything in my head. But anyway, there was an area in Harlem where several of my friends were going to meet me, and there was then after that, I kept thinking that was the end. No, that was not the end. That was way too far from the end. I need an end that's a little more closer up. I need people that are closer up so I can know that I'm about to really come up, about to really slide into the finish line. So anyway, in addition to that, getting back to the motivation, the Guinness World Records, Guinness World Records, right? So the Guinness World Records, I had Fee and I mentioned Demetrius flew up, and they're both texting me, slow down, you gotta slow down. We need more time to donate. And that was really hard for me because I run the first half of the race. So up until around 15 miles, I'd run most of it. I had took some walk breaks, but I'd run most of it. So once you get your body into a state, just for those that are wondering, once you get your body into a state, moving at speed, your body gets acclimated to it, and your body gets more comfortable moving, even if it's a little light jog, super light jog. It gets used to that movement faster than your walking pace anymore. And so I was trying in the second half of the fun of the race of the marathon to slow down, to walk. And it was so hard. It was so hard. I was like, I gotta run a little bit. And then I'll stop because I was giving them more time to raise money for their cause for the Guinness World Records. Now that said, in the end, I had to run a little bit because I just couldn't take it anymore. I had to run a little bit for the finish line. And as I crossed the line, I felt something shift inside me. Like as I was coming towards the finish line, just as soon as I crossed the line, I felt a sprain come on. And I was like, what is happening? Like it's like I was being held together by some force greater than I am. And then just when I got across the finish line, I shifted. And then all of a sudden there was pain down my left side. And I was like, trying to stay erect. And so I stayed up long enough to get the medal and long enough to get the poncho. And I just had to sit down. I had to sit down for a minute. And I sat there for a minute. And they're not seats, which really surprised me. I figured the big fancy New York race, New York Marathon would have seats and all these things at the end for people, but no, they was like moving along. And I asked this woman how to get from where I wanted to go, from where I wanted to go. And she was like, I don't know where you're trying to go, but you can go this way. Now this was important because all the runners, like all of the runners were coming to this woman. And this woman was directing them away, like, no, sir, you don't have the right credentials. No, sir, you don't have the right credentials. No, sure, you don't have the right credentials. But me, But me, she said, you can go this way. You can go behind my back. And I was like, what? All right, well, I'm going behind her back. I'm going the way that no one else can go. And I go in there, and everything opened to me. Everything opened. There was a guy, this security guy, who again was saying the same thing. You can't go this way. I'm sorry, sir. You have to go this way. And then he looked at me, looked at all my credentials. He said, yes, sir, you can go through. You can go through. He let me through. And I was like, what? And this was when I saw them, my group shouting me out because I was telling them on the phone, I was like, listen, I'm coming out at 72nd Street. I can't make it any further. And then I come out, and there they are. There they are right there. Right on the other side of the guy who's telling me, come on, man, you can come through. And I was like, what is going on? Why am I so gifted? Why do I have everything? And so it was just amazing to me how much things were committed, how much things were anointed, how much things were I don't know, just feeling like everything is connected. So I'm going to show this video that I forgot to add, but I'm going to add it anyway. Oh, you know what? I'm going to show you a couple things. Let me show you my, show you my picture and my, I'm sorry, I lost the page. Trying to do stuff at the last minute. Okay, hold on. Let me get ready to the poncho. All right, let me get focused now. So I'm gonna load this to my chart without my producer, because you know Rev Mel is my producer now. Let's see. I'm going to present. I'm going to share screen. I'm going to Chrome, Google Photos. All right, I got it. Here we go. So here is me, and voila. Voila. Okay, there we go. So this, as you can tell, is my first and only shot of myself after it was over. And this is the one I've been seeing out to everyone, the photo I've been seeing out to everyone. Now, what you'll notice is the fencing behind me. You think that that's me standing against the fence. No. That's because I'm sitting next to the fence. Like I fell out. I was like, oh, Sekou, you just gotta get one selfie with the bracelet, with the pendant. I got one, just the one, before I was able to get up and get myself awake enough to meet them right up the street, right after this fence right here. That's when the woman who was telling everyone else they had to go a different way was telling me I could go the right way. So that's that. And let me show you next one. Nope. Okay, here we go. Check this out. Okay, so that's everybody, including some friends of mine that we ran into right here. These people on the right-hand side of this picture ended up being in the same restaurant that we were eating in. So we ended up eating in a Thai restaurant. They were entering then, And we went and we tried like 3 different restaurants before we finally came back to them. And then we ran into them. It was so crazy. But again, another thing that just felt like ready, mixed, and everything. So, all right. So that's it. I want to introduce you to those people. So it's Reverend Mel. That's Nan. That's Fee King. That's Andrea. And that's Marcus, Demetrius Short, who's actually filming us. And that's it. I mean, that's everything. We're the core staff of folks that were really hardcore trying to get and make this thing happen in all the different ways it should happen. So anyway, I think that's it for me in time. Oh, I got a couple minutes left. So quick story. So as I'm leaving the house just now, because I had to get up and get my legs working, make sure that I left, and my doorman was talking to Fee King, and she was talking about how she was trying to catch me yesterday, and she had been telling him where she was trying to go. Well, so anyway, so I was like, yeah, man, she got to see me participate in the marathon. He was like, oh, you were handing out water? Like, handing out water? Handing out water? Who you talking to, son? Who you talking to? Handing out water. I was like, what? I was in the marathon, bro. I was in the marathon. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah, what? And he was so funny. He was like, oh. And so that was really funny. They completely changed his perception of me. This is the first time I've seen this particular doorman since I've been back. My building has a couple different doormen. So this one I hadn't seen since I've been back. And so the fact that he's just now seeing me, he's like, have you been in training all this time? Have you been wearing training? And I was like, kinda, because, you know, for those of you who know that I was hurt, you know, I was hurt. And so those of you that don't know, when I worked out, when I would do my walks every morning in Nashville, Tennessee, I would add a little bit of a run to it. Yes, I did. Because I didn't see anything telling me not to. And in the beginning, it was just a little bit. And then I got to the point where, oh my God, I could run miles. And I was like, oh, so I was prepared to walk the entirety of the race yesterday for New York City Marathon, but I wasn't going to just shelve that because I knew that I could. I knew that I could run miles even on my leg. And so the way I like to say it is I did 6.54 seconds with 1.5 legs. 1.5 legs, because one of my legs, its degradation is about 50% in terms of how I'm able to feel with it. So to me, I mean, the fact that I've been able to do it for so long has been incredible, and it's really just incredible that I've been able to do that what I can, and I was able to do it in less than 7 hours, 6 hours and 54 minutes. All right, so that said, I wasted my time. I was supposed to say something about Demetrius Short, so we're just gonna do that offline. And just remember this: the burritos. I don't know what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying, but I can visualize it in my head, but I can't say it. But the thing we're raising money for is still open. It's still open. We did not make our goal of 25,000, but I was shocked. I was shocked at how much we were able to raise. So we're going to keep it going. We're going to try to make it to $12,000 anyway. Just keep it going. Keep it going. If you haven't donated, share it with someone who has not donated yet, and just put it out there. Just put it out there. Okay, so All right, I guess I gotta stop talking now. I'm over into their prayer center's time, but I just want to remind you that you can do it. You can do it. I'm paraphrasing Nan here from what she said last night. I'm just somebody who has decided that I can do it. I can do it, and in deciding that I can do it, and choosing to know that I can do it, I've been able to do it for myself in many different categories. And I hope that that's of value to you. I know it's of value to me, but I hope sincerely it's of value to you. And so here we go. This week, I don't know if I'm going to be live or if I'm going to be hitting those previous episodes, but stay tuned and find out so you can see what we're talking about. So continue to be your best. Continue to be a hero. Continue to realize that now is better than perfect. Now is better than perfect. All right, folks. All right, I guess that's it. All right, later.